In this lesson, we're going to talk about the limitations of multi-body modeling. In SOLIDWORKS, multi-bodies are a great tool to use in many design situations. For example, if we had to create this crankshaft using techniques other than multi-body modeling, it may have taken us a long time. Sometimes just patterning a certain group of features that create a specific geometry will save you a lot of time, and it's just exactly what's needed. Also, if you were to create something like the mouse that we've shown, creating this using any technique other than multi-body modeling would be difficult to match up the curvature between the various parts or bodies. These are areas where it really makes a lot of sense to use multi-body modeling to accomplish your work. But there's some areas or some types of modeling where it just doesn't make a lot of sense to use multiple bodies. For example, if I go back to the engine folder and look for the top level engine for motion, there's several things to notice here as it opens up. The first is that there are really just a lot of parts within the engine. And the second is that there are a lot of moving parts within the engine. The crankshaft goes around, the pistons move, the valves follow the cam, and various other types of motion. Switching back to the mouse, in multi-body parts, all of the features that go together to create the bodies together are lumped together into a single feature tree. So if the features that were used to make this body fail, it could also affect the features used to make this body. In the case of the mouse, all of these features are related. But if you're trying to build something like an engine as a multi-body part, you're going to have a lot of unrelated features lumped together into a single feature tree. And the feature tree has to solve from top to bottom. So creating something like an engine as a multi-body part turns out to be just a really bad idea. You can create portions of it as multi-body parts for various reasons. But if you're just using multi-body modeling to avoid assembly modeling, then that's a tactic that I think that you should probably rethink. If you want to reuse one of these parts later, it becomes much easier if it's a separate part rather than just a body within a part. There are a lot of reasons, including drawings, tables, configurations, complexity, rebuild time, troubleshooting, and other reasons that will make you want to use assemblies at the appropriate time and use multi-body parts at the appropriate time. I'm not trying to discourage you from using multi-body parts. I use them very, very frequently. It's just that you need to know the difference in function between an assembly and a multi-body part. And don't try to just shortcut the system with multi-body parts because that will come back to haunt you. Multi-body parts can be used in the case of this mouse as a master model technique where all of the shapes are created in a single part. Multi-body parts can also be used, as we've shown, in patterning bodies. If you have a lump of geometry, it is much faster to pattern that lump or body rather than patterning a bunch of features. And also, in one of our first exercises, we saw that sometimes you just need to put down the information that you know. The easy information here is the hub and the hand wheel, and then you connect them using a separate feature. These are all appropriate uses for multi-body modeling. There are also times when you have inseparable subassemblies, such as a captive washer on a screw, or an overmolded part where rubber is molded over a plastic part. And in cases like this, you may want to work multi-body as well. In addition, SOLIDWORKS uses multi-body modeling as its main method for creating molds and weldments. So as you work with multi-bodies, you will learn the difference between this and this.